So Brian, you are the resident Protoss expert in this game, so why don't you talk to me a little bit about how this matchup ends up playing out most of the time?
Well, obviously, the safest approach would be going Sentry Stalker first, and then going for the expansion afterwards, or you can go Stargate, and then go for the natural. These days, double adept opening has been kinda faded away because the adepts take too long of a time to actually dispose of the pylon that would block the natural. So usually you would start off with either Sentry Stalker if you want to play in a safe fashion, or you can go for either double stalker or even one adept and one stalker. So that way you can still clear out the pylon that's blocking the natural with two additional stalker follow-ups. And also you can try to get some scouting or even go for some potential pick-off on the probes with the single adept. Looks like both players are going for a double gate approach. So we'll see how they choose in terms of their tech path afterwards from here.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Just now realizing I forgot to change that overlay for the observer, but we'll get that fixed up between games, so don't you guys worry if you are watching and it's be like, hey, it looks a little bit weird. Don't worry, it will get solved. We do have Asuna hiding a pylon over here on the top of the map, so it's just going to be using that. I mean, of course, obviously you say, well, that could be for a proxy. Also, in the case that your opponent does scout across the map, hiding a pylon can sometimes make them second guess what exactly you are doing. Where, you know, are you hiding tech? And we do see Astrea is scouting around quite rigorously with this probe.
Yeah, and he also went for that Sentry Stalker opening, which is a very safe approach, and now probably gonna go for the natural expansion. There we go. And actually we see a very fast Twilight coming down from Asuna, so it looks like it could be a potential 3-gate blink opener, and just being in your face aggressive against Astrea. There we go. Immediately chrono boosting that blink upgrade.
Yeah, but so, I mean, you're seeing there's no nexus. It is just constant stalker production. Asuna is going to try and get a little bit aggressive here. In game number 1, we are seeing, though, that Hallucinated Phoenix does get a very, very good scout off on what exactly is going on. You know, all right, all I see is the Twilight Council researching 2 gateways and a cybernetics core. Astrea should know something is hidden. There's something on this map that I cannot see. And so my opponent is obviously being just a little bit sneaky, and it's that proxy gateway that is now going down around that 3rd base location of Astrea.
Yeah, so Astrea immediately plants a shield battery, which is a very good response, and he would just need to constantly crank out immortals and gateway units in order to stop this. So build order wise, Astrea is in a pretty good shape right now, because he's going to have immortals ready as well as the shield battery, and the position of the shield battery is at where it's not that easy to snipe by Asuna.
Yeah, as the Stalkers are going to try and make their way on in here for our blue Protoss. I mean, hallucination of the Immortal is great here by Astrea because, well, he already has one on the way. He's just going to make sure that Asuna doesn't want to go in and attack this position because he thinks there's already one out. Just a little bit faster than it usually would be. It's just a great play. It's going to slow down his opponent, and now he hides the real Immortals, now going to bring that down as well. And this is just very, very well played from Astrea. I mean, look at that. That hallucinated Immortal absorbs so much damage, doesn't even die, and I mean, Asuna's just wasting time here. That's giving Astrea all the time he needs to build up a better Immortal count and to sit at this advantage of having the second base.
Yeah, Asuna tried to create diversion using the adepts, but great response coming out from Astrea. Astrea, you know, targeted the adepts using the immortals for a second there, but you know, it doesn't really matter. He already has 2 immortals, and Asuna couldn't even clear out of that shield battery with overcharge, and there we go, GG.
That was quite frankly disgusting. Those 2 hallucinated immortals absorbed so much damage because Asuna thought they were real. He just completely like, all right, I need to try and commit in. He sees immortals. He's like, I gotta try and get rid of these to make this rush work, and they're not even actually there. And it's just great I mean, great usage of that energy on the Sentry gets Astrea that win in game 1. I mean, he was already in a great spot, but just made it a little bit easier.
Yeah, especially once the Protoss player that's going for a 3-gate blink can accumulate enough number of stalkers, then the Guardian Shield really doesn't do that much. And Astrea is completely aware of that. Therefore, he utilized the hallucinated Immortal as a diversion, and it worked out perfectly for him.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're going to be getting on into our next match here, as we just have to take a little bit longer because I got to correct some things here on that overlay, obviously. But heading into the next game, obviously that was very quick. That was, 3-gate. It was cheese. Dealt with perfectly by Astrea. Now, do you expect the playstyle to change at all? Do you expect something different from Asuna?
Well, I think he will probably have to change it up because the 3-gate blink just got completely shut down by Astrea. And Astrea is probably going to stick with that Sentry Stalker opening. So I think Asuna will be forced to take the natural one way or the other. And then it's just the only matter of what the follow-up would be. Is it gonna be just, more conventional blink follow-up, or is it gonna be blink followed by DTs by building either the 4th or the 5th pylon outside and then building a proxy dark shrine? Or it could even be 3-gate robo. We'll have to see, but I think once that 3-gate blink just got completely shut down by Astrea, Asuna really needs to change up the game plan for sure.
Yeah, and we'll see how it ends up going. It's certainly going to be interesting to see what Asuna ends up choosing to do in the future, because obviously that game was very much... Sorry. That was very much a build where you're trying to catch your opponent off guard. You're trying to be maybe in a matchup that you're not as confident in, get a cheeky win. Your opponent just plays standard and is able to beat you. So we'll have to see if there is gonna be maybe, Glittering Ashes could be a standard macro game for both these players, but just gauging off that first game, I'm not sure if Asuna is gonna be completely comfortable going into that.
So this map is actually pretty huge, so there could be a proxy play coming in from Asuna. Could be even like a hidden base, like how SOS used to do back when he was active. So we'll see what Asuna is going to pull out from his sleeves.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, we are getting into the next map now. It's going to be Glittering Ashes. It's going to be a big one, and we'll see if maybe that switches up the playstyle here for one of our players who is going to be down at the start of it. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen. Bottom left-hand corner from Alpha X, he, of course, is going to be Astrea.
All right, another Alpha X counterpart. We have at the top right corner, Asuna in the blue Protoss. All right, looks like Asuna is going for actually a Gateway expand, or Gateway Stargate followed by expansion. And Astrea most likely gonna go for a 2-gate approach. In this case, Astrea can even go for a 1-base play, because due to the nerfs on the Void Rays, if you can hit the right timing, then if you go for like 3-gate blink, then you can actually kill the opponent that's going 1-gate expansion. Or you can even go 3-gate robo, and you can if you can still hit the right timing, then you can still kill the opposition. So let's see what Astrea's response would be. Astrea actually failed to get the block on the Nexus at the natural, so already slightly suboptimal start coming out from Astrea.
Yeah, it's going to block away that gas. But the real interesting thing is that you usually see these single gate expand on maps that have a ramp up into the natural base. Just because when you have even ground, it's a lot easier to siege up as the opposing Protoss player, because you're not having to worry about that high ground vision. And so that means that these kind of all-ins or these pressure attacks that Protoss can go for, your opponent can go for, are going to be a lot easier on a map like Glittering Ashton. Now, of course, it's a very large map, so the defender's advantage is just that much bigger. But in PvP, you know, if you have a proxy gateway, that is kind of negated.
And what is this? Already a proxy pylon being planted inside of Asuna's base by Astrea. And, you know, unlike last game, because he scouted the presence of the natural nexus, so he immediately went for double stalker with 2 more stalkers as a follow-up. So he's gonna get really aggressive, and then, oh, look at this, immediately planting proxy gate inside Asuna's base with multiple pylons going down as well in order to prevent any sort of unpowered.
I mean, this is pretty crazy, as it's 3 pylons and a gateway, and Astrea. I mean, this is just dirty. There's only a single gateway for his opponent. Asuna is building one in the main base, but he has to also defend the front because his pylon might just go down there. There's 2 stalkers pressuring. Asuna's stalker is very, very low. And this is suddenly looking very, very bad for our Chinese player, as Astrea is just taking full advantage of the fact that this early wall went down. Even has another proxy gateway up behind that, or at the natural. And a shield battery does eventually go up, but there's 4 stalkers here. And unfortunately, 4 stalkers get through that energy pretty darn quickly.
Well, at least the shield battery is there to preserve the pylon. And what is this? Wings of Liberty? We have 4-gate play.
As Adepts get warped into the natural, they're going to start to get probe damage as well. The Cybernetic core is under fire. Asuna is still only working, I mean, 3 gateways. He's added on another one, but he's also lost 9 probes. As this looks to be a very, very quick 2-0 for Astrea. He doesn't want to dilly-dally. He doesn't want to waste time. Now getting the pylons in the natural, so there's no more shield batteries there. And this is just brutal as shield battery overcharge comes down. It's just going to be focus fired. Astrea loses a singular stalker. But aside from that, this game is thoroughly in his hands.
Yeah, and also Asuna lost the cybernetic core as well. So what are these slow zealots gonna do? This is gonna get kited by stalkers all day, all night, and there's the